Hello, I am fiddling with some microphone settings and trying to figure out how to do that while I'm live, but hi. It's going to look like I'm just staring at myself for a second here. Put that down there. I have it to hide all the marks that my cat has put in my chair. And we'll wait for everyone to hop in while I see if I can fix my microphone. Gosh, I wish I knew how to do literally anything in YouTube. I probably should have fixed it before I started. All right, make sure my Discord is up. I'm not sure if I have the right microphone working. Has any stream ever existed without technical problems? If it has, I don't know about it. Okay, well, there doesn't seem to be a way to fix my microphone, so we'll just go with what we have. Hello, hi. This is a monthly live stream Q&A situation, although I have very few questions to answer. So I think next time we'll probably try and pick a specific topic or, oh, hey, there's some people in the Discord chat. Awesome, nice. Hello. I was supposed to have a nicer microphone, but I don't think it's working and I don't know how to change it once I'm already streaming. But yeah, my hair is also very greasy today because I did a lot of running around and thought I was going to fix it before we streamed, but that didn't happen because I went to downtown LA and was recording an episode of Buffering the Vampire Slayer, which is going to be coming up soon. March. We did New Moon Rising, which is going to be really exciting. So I'm co-hosting on that episode with Kristen, more than just my fashion watch. And if you are not familiar with Buffering the Vampire Slayer, it is a podcast that I do fashion updates for, and it comes out every other week, I believe. And Jenny and Kristen are going through every episode of Buffy one at a time. And yeah, I post updates about fashion in the various episodes. Not every episode, but some of them, because I have a lot of feelings about Buffy fashion. I'm going to post that I'm streaming right now. All right, that's done. So let me go and see if there are specific questions to start with here in the other window. I'm very professional. You can tell this is literally the second one of these that I've ever done. Okay, so the only question I have is from my Discord, which you can get into on my Patreon for, I think it's the $5 a month tier. We're still figuring out the Discord, as we are still figuring out everything all the time. But it's been fun. So we're trying to find some more events and streams and things to do together. I'm trying to build more of a community-esque space because I've noticed a lot of people who have really cool Patreons have Discords and do cool things. And I'm just faking everything till I make it, basically, in every situation. But the only question so far is from Darklighter, who's in my Discord. And that is, when did I add the blue to my hair? I feel like I started doing it at FlameCon last year, and then I stopped and it all washed out because we were just using purple, and the purple faded really fast. And now we use blue, and I have some blue overtone that I use on the ends of my hair that keeps it blue. It's very exciting. And then the other question I have from Bones, both of you are here, my just reliables, I appreciate it, is the question about if I have any plans to play more tabletop RPG games. And he says that Syra was a favorite character on Vast. I don't think I would be doing that specific one again. Those episodes were just too long for my attention span. I tried, I really did, but it's my own problem. I fidget. I can't sit still for longer than about 3 hours. So I would love to do some more RPG stuff at some point. I love to play D&D. I play with friends. I'm in one game and starting another. It's something I really love. I love making characters, and it's taken me. We actually just passed the first anniversary of our current campaign, which is very exciting. And we're going to be doing a one-shot soon that Cohen's going to run, and that'll be really exciting. I can't wait. But yeah, so it's something that I would definitely do again if it were shorter. I don't know how, like, Critical Role is so long. It's so good, and I know so many people who love it, but even that is harder for me to keep track of than a lot of things. So I'm going to do a couple more questions, and then I'm going to do some tarot readings. Now, if you are in the Patreon, which I suspect you are because you're here and that's how you get access to it, there is a thread underneath the original post about this stream where I have asked people to enter a number between 1 and 78, because that is how many tarot cards there are, and a short question or phrase to do with something they would like some clarity about in tarot. And as I do it, I'm going to talk about tarot a little bit. This is something I'm sort of nervous about because a lot of the time I do actually have to look up specific cards because I don't have them memorized. There are 78, and it's not just the meanings of those 78, but how they interact with each other, how the different suits interact with each other, what the major and minor arcana mean. It's a whole thing, but I love to do it. It's really fun, and it's good practice for me. So I'm going to do that in a minute. But Joseph here in the Twitter chat has asked any future or upcoming projects that you're excited about and also can talk about without doing NDA treason. And NDA treason is, a pretty big part of why I can't talk about a lot of things. I am working on some more kids stuff. I just started a new freelance project of writing some kids TV, which is really exciting. And I'm pitching a graphic novel. So that's something that I've been working on since the first conversation I had about it was last summer at FlameCon, I think. I met with my agent, Jen, and she's been super, super supportive. I've waited until I'm 30 to do a graphic novel because I have been too nervous. I've been worried about the reaction, worried about my own ability. It's a graphic novel is a huge undertaking, especially if I'm drawing it, which I've never done anything that long. Almost everything that I do is writing. So, big commitment, but I'm really hoping that somebody buys it and pays me to make it because I really want to do it. It's autobiographical and some real shit. So those are kind of the big things I'm working on. I've been focusing a lot on Patreon because I'm not working a day job right now, and Patreon pays the bills, which is nice. I live in LA and my apartment's nice. It's not cheap. But yeah. Oh, my hair is a mess. I'm going to just get it out of my face. I have a clip around here somewhere, and y'all can just deal with it being less than fancy. So, there we go. Now I can see. This is how my hair usually is when I'm at home. It's fancy for pictures, but it drives me nuts. Cool. So yes, graphic novel. That's the big thing in the upcoming year. If it does get bought, if we do get an offer, that's really the thing I'm going to be focusing on. I want to do it. I have been taking every excuse not to, but the combination of therapy and medication and reading a ton of autobio books over the last year has been a huge kick in the butt to do it, to just do the damn thing. So whether or not it'll be the most beautiful thing in the world, I don't know, but it'll be mine. And almost everything that I do is partially someone else's because I do a lot of licensed work. I work on a lot of other people's characters and stories, and it's really fun because you don't have to come up with as much stuff, and you get to really interpret every world differently and say what you want to say with it. And Hellcat's a perfect example of that. That was an existing character, but our version of it was very different. But yeah, I do really want to have something that is just mine. So anyway, that's me talking about that. Feel free to continue to leave questions in the Discord, in the YouTube chat, but I am going to start doing some tarot, and I'll talk a little bit about it as I sort of shuffle and get ready. And drink a lot of water because I'm on Adderall now and I'm always thirsty. So this is my tarot bag. My mom got me this one for Christmas. I want some more because I have on the go about five tarot decks right now. One of them I haven't even opened. And I almost bought an $80 deck yesterday, but that's too much money for cards. They Ammon Brar, I think is the name of the artist. And they are gorgeous. I'm trying to remember if that's the exact name here because you should see them. It's Ammon. Oh, I'm going to say this wrong. Hold on. Tarot? I'm getting it wrong. And yes, Bones, I agree with you. I'm going to do that. Yeah, the Marigold Tarot by Amrit Brar. Thank you, Adina, in the YouTube chat. I was looking it up and I was like, I had this, but I think I looked it up in like a private window or something and it didn't save the search. But yes, the Marigold Tarot is absolutely beautiful. And yeah, very, very fun. And yeah, Bones, who has been a regular staple in the Discord that we have, is super great. I think I am going to like open it up to all patrons can join. I wanted to give it incentive for the $5 thing. Part of the reason that I set up all the new tiers was my job ended. I don't have a steady monthly income right now. So I wanted to, have reasons to be at the 5 or 10 or whatever dollar range. But yeah, I think it would be fun if everybody could get in there because so many people lurk and don't post. And I want to build more community, like I said, in there. So that is probably a change that's going to happen. So, yeah, check out those Marigold Tarot because they're so pretty. The cards that I usually use here, oh, they're upside down. Well, the back is right, are the Halloween Tarot. They are my favorite deck. They were the deck that I learned how to read tarot on. They're great. I talked about this in the last stream, but they're great because they are all based on the Rider-Waite tarot cards. And the Rider-Waite is the original deck, the base deck that every sort of interpretation of meanings is based on. So when people learn tarot, you usually learn with the Rider-Waite deck because it's got the traditional stuff. It's, any book that teaches you how to read tarot is based on that. So these ones are great because it's, the names of the suits are different. So the 6 of bats, as opposed to the 6 of swords. But as soon as you remember what they refer to, it's pretty easy. And then the rest of them are the same. The major arcana is the same. So, High Priestess. Ooh, if I cover my face, I wonder if she'll come into focus. Probably not. But yes, so everything else is the same. And they're just really pretty. They're based on a lot of Germanic designs and early sort of 30s, 40s Halloween art. So very cool. And I really like them. Let's see if I can do this. And if it doesn't, it's not very loud. I'm going to try and shuffle my cards a little bit. Messing this up. I get fidgety hands when I can't, when I'm being watched, even by 19 people. There we go. Ooh. Normally I can do a lot of fancy shuffling, but I'm on my Cintiq is leaned up against my computer with my camera. There we go. It's harder to shuffle tarot cards. They're bigger. I do a lot of the just like this, but Yeah, I don't know. I like to shuffle them a lot. So what I've basically done is the original post on Twitter. I asked people to leave a number. And so what I'll do after shuffling, and I'll shuffle a little bit in between each one, is to count through the cards to that number and then pull whatever card that is. The way I pull the cards is like this. So it sort of reverses it, rather than flipping it sideways. But since that's the way I've literally always done it, and it just feels a little bit more magical, that's how I do it now. So yeah. I do take reversed meanings of cards into consideration, and I do look them up on my Golden Thread Tarot app because I don't remember everything all the time, which I'm going to get prepared. But we will get started and do the little witchy stuff before the weekend. See what your weekend has in store, or whatever your specific query was. Did you know that in tarot, a person asking a question is called a querent? I think that's great. Okay, so the first one that I got, and there's some more coming in, which is great. Thank you. If you are in either of the chats, you can leave a number, but just in case something gets lost, the original Patreon post is probably the best. And if I don't get to it today, I will draw some after the stream, and I post a little response or something. But there's not that many of you hanging out, so I think it'll be fine. So I'm going to start with Melody Fitzgerald, whose number was 22. I should have asked people for low numbers. All right, so 22 cards out. What we have drawn here is the Emperor. I love him in this deck. He's Frankenstein, which is great. They're always going to be a little bit blurry because of my specific webcam. Sorry about that. But the Emperor is one of the major arcana. So Melody has asked about a decision on family life, whether to keep the same or risk the unknown. And I love this. I love these not too specific because I don't want to expose any of your personal stuff, but enough information to sort of craft an answer around. And part of what I love about tarot is it's actually the same as D&D. It's really good for storytelling. It teaches you a lot about crafting a narrative out of, the cards you're dealt, which is really cool. So the Emperor, which is the 5th card in the tarot deck. Let me put will my phone slide down? I can put it right there. Okay, so the Emperor is about authority, structure, control, and fatherhood. This is a very, you can tell from him. He's just sitting in the chair. In every version of the Emperor, he's holding that ankh, and he's holding the sphere there, and they're, weighted objects of importance. He's balance, he's stability and sturdiness. So it's and the opposite of the Empress card as well. A lot of cards have a mirror. So the High Priest and the High Priestess, the Empress and the Emperor, and the Emperor is the male, although what's gender, card. So it says he exudes authority, and though he is stern, he is also filled with wisdom and understanding from his years. He signals structure, stability, and the rule of thought over the heart. So in your situation, Melody, where you are making a decision on family life, this looks like the same that you are thinking about. This is the structure. This is the stability. You've got a fairly archetypal father figure here. And so what I like to think about in tarot is not here is your answer, here is your solution, unless it feels really obvious and resonates with you. It's when you look at this, when you see this father figure, this stern, unmoving monster guy, does it make you think yes, I like that stability, I want to be part of it? Or does it make you think oh no, that's not for me? And your instinctual reaction is often the answer that you need more than anything else. So there you go, the Emperor. Do you want to have this in your life? Or do you want to move away from it? Do you want to try something a little wilder? And there we go. That's number 1. We're doing it. The next time I do it, I'll probably do it the way I do for people when I read cards over the phone, which is I will spell out their name. So if someone's like, if I do Cohen's card, it'll be Cohen and then draw whatever card it is. Because ideally you want to be with someone and have them shuffle the cards, you know, put their energy into it, think about their question when they're doing it, but we're online. So no, whatever. This is my it's my water bottle. Okay, so the next one we have is Scott, who is asking whether to be cautious or bold in a relationship, which is a great question for the tarot. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Oops. I have something going on in the live stream. Perfect. Great. Okay, so we have drawn, and both of these have been right side up so far. I will address if they're not. The 2 of Imps, which represents the 2 of Wands. And Wands, as you can probably guess here, are the suit of fire. And what I also like to do is have people look at a card and it's what your instinctual reaction is. Like, what do you think when you first look at this, and then go into the actual dictionary definition, for lack of a better term. So 2 of Wands. Let's pull you up here. Look at these guys. I love these little imps. So the 2 of Wands, according to the golden thread, is so you've got the combination of Wands, which is fire, passion, will, and 2s, which are decision, balance, and partnership. And this one is about planning, making plans, and discovery. The transformation of vision and ambition into planning and progress, starting to move a way forward. The man beholds the material in which he can make his designs come true. So this card is illustrated a little bit differently than the traditional Rider-Waite one. So you see here, he's sort of like pulling these 2 characters apart and being more of a peacemaker, trying to keep them from fighting. Now, when you have the Wands, their passion, their desire, this is maybe keeping some ideas under control. But honestly, since you are asking about relationships, whether to be cautious or bold, you did pull a 2, which is about relationships, so it's very appropriate. It is about passion. But I think here, I never want to advise someone to be too cautious, because that's how you get bored. But it does seem like approaching something with an even keel. So you've got this guy here. He is, you know, keeping these 2 from fighting, keeping things in order, and not articulating this very well. I'm still getting used to doing this, but he's got control of the situation. So I would say, don't be too shy, but also, yeah, an even keel. Approach something with the understanding that it could be difficult, and to sort of be aware and not get too swept up, because these 2, the passion, are getting a little carried away. So keep your head. That's that one. All right. Someone asked for 69. Of course. Got a cut on my thumb, so every time I shuffle these, it's like agony. All right, we can go to 69. I suppose I could count down from 78, couldn't I? So 78, 77, 76, 75, 74, 73, 72, 71, 70. That would have been 69. All right, so I'm cheating with that one. Ooh, the High Priestess. So Trisha, who asked for 69, classy, is asking for some clarity on work choices. I love these questions because they're also great to just think about, even if they were not your specific card. So the High Priestess, who you can see here, one of the cards I showed you in an example, she's one of my favorite cards. I love her. She is a lot of intuition. your sort of inner thoughts, your inner strength. I think of her as kind of being like a badass boss in your head that's like reminding you to go with your gut. And, you know, she's standing in between these two towers, but she's got a lot of stuff in check. She's balancing a bat and the book. So the bat is swords. So that's like action, and then she's got the book, which is more knowledge, more passive. She's got a lot going on, but she's got a lot under control. So the high priestess, as her technical definition, intuition, unconscious, and the inner voice. So the definition in there is to direct your will outward. One must also be able to understand one's internal world. The high priestess is the guardian of the unconscious and beckons the traveler to the world within, which is a very complicated way of describing this card, which is one of my favorite cards, which means just listen to your gut. Your inner monologue, basically. If you are needing some clarity on work choices, the high priestess is telling you, you probably already know the answer. This is definitely a little bit of like, I don't want to say a shady card, but it is, anytime I've pulled it, it's been because I was like, oh, I don't know what to do about these two things, or I'm not sure how this is going to go. And then she shows up and she's like, yeah, but you got this. Like, you know what you need to do. You're going to be okay. She's capable. She's balanced. She's you. She's your inner strength. She shows up a lot in readings for, you know, women or femme people with that, you know, more feminine energy. I just love her. She's just like, you got this. You're going to be fine. And that's great. So Trisha, who I think you're in the woohoo, I just dropped my phone. I'm in the live stream right now. Yeah, there you go. So let me check in on all my chat things. Very good. All is well. We are going to move down to Tukru. I'm sorry if I say it wrong. I'm dropping literally everything. What's up? I will figure all this out in due time. Okay. Whoop. All right. Chart here. Cards here. So Tukru's asked for 13, which is great. That's an easy one to flip to. Woo. I think the next time we do a chat, I might do some hand lettering. I want to figure out how to stream from my Cintiq because I want to be able to show some art or some games or something. It's something I'm trying to learn to get into. I got this fancy webcam and everything's so crisp. And I do have a really nice microphone. I just didn't get it working in time. Okay, so this question is decision on the small business I run, whether the change I have planned is a good idea or bad, even though I've decided I'm doing it already. Okay, well, it's good to know that you made up your mind. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Ooh, another major arcana. Everyone's got intense things coming up. So anytime you get a major arcana, like I sort of said before, it's usually a major step in your life. So, I mean, making a decision on a business you run, yeah, that's a pretty big moment. High Priestess, pretty big moment. Emperor, big moment. It's a moment of change. It's a moment of it's an internal shift. Minor arcana cards, I don't even like saying the word Trump anymore, are more day-to-day stuff or smaller decisions and changes. Anyway, Judgment, which I believe is the last or second last of the, it's right before the World. Yeah, because they are numbered 0 to 23. You'd think I'd know this. I've been reading tarot cards for like 3 years. Now this is gonna look scary. It's a vampire and there's mummies coming out of their crypt. But very few of the tarot cards are actually 100% negative. Because much like the High Priestess, since you've already said you know the decision you're going to make, Judgment says you already know the decision you're going to make. He's on the cusp of rebirth. He's towards the end of the major arcana. He's right before the World. The World is the last card. You start over again with the Fool. But, you know, in terms of progress along a timeline, Judgment comes at the end of things. It's before you're going to start over. It's before you're going to make a huge change. You're going to move. You're going to go through a breakup. You're going to it's Judgment. But it basically says you have to look back on your deeds and come to an honest evaluation of yourself. This leads the way to this leads to the awakening that signals a new way of life. So yeah, like I said, just big changes. If you do already know the decision you're going to make, this is probably just encouraging you. But it also might be saying, think about it a little bit more. Like, make sure that you know what choice you're making. This is a huge change. Yeah, so Judgment. I also really like this card. It's spooky. Here, move this microphone out of the way so that I can move my mouse to see what people are saying. Is it unlucky to buy your own tarot decks? Sarah asks. I don't know. There is definitely a school of thought that says you should be given them, but I didn't have anyone who was going to give me a tarot deck in my tiny town. And I went to a witch shop and supported a local business to buy it. And so I feel pretty good about it. I have been given tarot decks. Most of the other ones that I have been gifts. Cohen bought me the Pagan Cat Tarot, which is really great. My friend Sam bought me the Wanderer Tarot. They've mostly been gifts, but yeah, I don't know. Not everyone has that option. So buy them, support the artists that made them. I don't know, you make them your own. I've been using this deck for 4 years now, and you know, it shows. They're worn and a little yellowed on the edges, and that's how I like tarot cards to be. I feel more, I don't know, magic. So the next number is 44, which is right halfway through. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 30, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 40, 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. Our first reverse card. Astounding. So the Ten of Ghosts, which we've pulled here reversed, is actually one of my favorite cards. And Lewis has been asking, should I stay close to what I know or explore something new? So when the card is face up, it is it's the Suit of Ghost, which is the Suit of Cups. So minor arcana, smaller changes, smaller events. But Cups is relationships. It's the Suit of Water. And not just romantic relationships, but any kind of interpersonal relationships, friendships, roommates, family, all kinds of things like that. And the Ten of Ghosts, right side up, is celebration. I pulled this for Cohen last week, and I think I pulled the 2 or the 3 of ghosts for myself. And it made us decide to go out and hang out with some friends for the weekend, which was great because it was like celebrations with people, you know, being in a big group. So when a card shows up reversed, it doesn't necessarily mean, oh, this is the bad version, but it might mean there's something obstructing your ability to live up to this specific card or to experience the specific card. So let's double check because I sometimes get ahead of myself. So the Ten of Cups, again, the last minute suit, like Judgment, it usually means the end of a process or the end of something. So when it is reversed, yeah, it's trouble in relationships. It's something to do, something is fracturing your family situation, or, you know, whether that's home family or found family. And yeah, basically saying that the normal joy that you should be getting from celebration or a group activity, something's getting in the way of that. Something unsaid or something that was said that maybe wasn't so great that you need to make up for. There might be some conflict. So where you asked should you stay close to what you know or explore something new, there's a possibility that you're in a situation like this where the group of people that you're around the most is kind of fractured, and maybe you need to either move on from that or resolve the issues at hand. You know, I would say it doesn't generally, it's not saying specifically, you know, explore something new. I think it more means that, like, before you do, even if you don't need to fix what's going on, because sometimes people are just being terrible and you need to just get away from that. So interpret it as you wish. Tarot's always like that. I just like to go, what feels right to me? And then go from there. So we've done that. I'm going to drink some more water and answer a question here. A couple questions before I move on. So Trisha, hello again, asked, how did you learn to read tarot? I just started last year and want to learn more. I started learning to read when I started working on Spell on Wheels, when I was first originally pitching it and coming up with the concept. I really wanted to learn. I've always wanted to learn. I've always found it really interesting. And even if, I don't know, I always like to have this caveat of, well, I don't really believe, but I've been doing it like for 4 years. I kind of do, The way I like to think about it is, even if it's not something you believe in spiritually, it's really great for decision making. So again, like if you pull a card and it says, if you're trying to decide between red and blue and the card seems to indicate blue and your initial reaction is, oh, but I don't want blue, I wanted red. Well, that card helped you make a decision, like flipping a coin. So I don't know. I just really like it as a meditative exercise. And I got a book called 78 Degrees of Wisdom, which is great. It's very detailed. It's also based on the Rider-Waite deck. It was recommended to me by a friend who knows a lot about tarot. I watched a bunch of YouTube videos. One, I ended up becoming a patron of her, Amalia. She does ASMR tarot, where she talks about the different decks and goes through them, and it's ASMR. It's just like this perfect overlap of things that I love. So I learned a lot from them. And then the Golden Thread app is, honestly, I've had a bunch of different apps and books and lists, and I've gone through, and written down what they all mean to try and remember them. It takes a long time. It really does. Like I don't have a full grasp on them. There's a lot of cards that I recognize and I can be like, oh yeah, no, this is what this means, but you forget. And it's ADD, like, so I like to keep the Golden Thread as a reference, so that even if I kind of or mostly remember, it's like something solid. And then Melody, hello, said, thanks. Oh, sorry. There was a question before that. Oh, wow. The real question was to have another kid and got a fatherhood card. Interesting. Well, it is stability and home stuff. I don't know what to tell you about that one. So, and then Claire had asked, when doing for tarot for someone in person, do you usually pull a single card or do you pull more cards for reading? Everyone is different on this front. A lot of people will do larger spreads. The Celtic Cross is really popular, and I have done that, but they're really complicated and there's a lot to remember, and sometimes I feel a little out of my depth. So I generally do a 3-card reading, and I can break that up into a lot of different formats. So it can be past, present, future. It can be, if it's about a relationship, it can be, how do you feel about this relationship, the state of the relationship now, and where the relationship might go. It's a lot of different beginning, middle, ends. Sometimes I even do them for just, what's this week going to be like? And I'll journal about it and be like, okay, well, first part of the week's going to be like this, middle of the week's going to be like this, end of the week's going to be like this. The 3 is so simple. It gives you enough of a narrative and a story that you can really think about it, but without getting totally overwhelmed. So that's what I usually do. Okay. Hello, everyone. There's a few more of you now. Welcome. All right. Jacqueline B asked for 76. I'm glad I can start at the bottom. Shuffle just a little bit here and try not to knock all my cards on the floor. The way I used to do things was I would just shuffle like this, the sort of like overhand way, until cards fell out. And then I would use those for the reading because it's like they're mystically sent to me or whatever. So 76 would be this chunk versus this chunk. So it technically ends up being the card afterwards because I pull 22 and then do the next one, but this is my method. It's whatever. So this one is the 7 of Ghosts. We return once again to the Ghosts, which is the Suit of Cups. It is, again, relationships, water. As you can see here, this is pretty good. It's a pretty good card. So what Jacqueline is asking about is wondering if my next career step is going back to school, taking a day job, or continuing to wait for a promotion in my current work. I want to dig into the more specific description of this to make sure that I am not saying the wrong thing. Wow. A range of choices present themselves to you. So, Jacqueline, you are, yeah, this is you. Some of which promise power, riches, victory, and love. Others that instead present you with disaster. Danger lurks within the choices, and wishful thinking and fantasy can lead one into trouble. So you can see that sort of described here when they're talking about fantasy or things. You've got, what is that card? It's a building of some sort. So like home and stability. You've got wealth here. You've got danger. You've got all kinds of different things. These are all your different choices, having a sweet little fiesta up there. And there's you down here trying to figure out which one. So this card is less of an answer and more of an acknowledgement of the situation that you're in and saying like, yeah, the cards can't pick this for you. This is sort of something you really need to figure out for yourself. What is going to benefit you the most? What is going to be not necessarily the safest route, but the most beneficial to you? It also sort of warns you to stay away from danger. So if something feels like, if going back to school feels like something you don't actually need to do, but I mean, I'm not saying you specifically, but I do know people who go back to school because they don't know what to do. Saying like, maybe don't do that because you're going to spend a lot of money and you might not necessarily need that. But yeah, it doesn't have a very clear answer, this card, but you know, there we go. Sorry, I don't have a solid answer for you there. It just means, yeah, you got choices to make. They don't always give you a clear solution. Cool. So, hello. Hi, there's some new people in the YouTube chat. Hello, welcome. And, okay, so we have a few more in the Patreon. I think we have four more. Yeah, that's a good amount of time. So, Juliet has asked a question here. Shuffling, dropping cards on the floor. I would love to do this sometime with a camera that shows you the cards as I'm sort of doing that kind of thing. But, you know, we're figuring this out. Yeah. All right, so Juliet, Jules, I suppose you're here in the chat, has asked for 10, and it's a relationship question. Is a friendship achievable? That's a tricky one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And we are pulling out Temperance. Again, major arcana. Big choices for everyone, big changes. Temperance is a positive card. Well, I'll start you with that and then go into the more specific definition. It is, I would say, friendship is possible, but you're going to have to work for it. It is the middle path. It's patience and finding meaning. It is taking the middle road, finding a balance in life that allows you to attain a sense of calm. When it relates to the external world, it also means adapting, cooperation, and meditation. So I would say, yeah, friendship is possible. You're going to have to put the work in. This lady, she's brewing her little potion. She's got her little mouse friend, kitty, and owl. She's surrounded by a lot of animals and things from the natural world. And, you know, just putting in the time, not rushing things, not forcing any kind of issue. But you got this. Friendship is possible, I think. Not going to be totally easy. Because if you're asking me the question, is friendship possible? It's probably not an easy situation. That's just my interpretation, but yes. Okay. Sorry, I'm reading the chat and giggling. And you're welcome, Jules. So Matt has asked, house, now, wait, or never? Honestly, I don't know how anyone can afford houses in the world. I'm a millennial in that way. More escaping cards. This is why I used to do readings with escaped cards, because I'm bad at shuffling. So Matt's number is 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, we have pulled the 5 of bats reversed. So right side up. It's actually kind of a nasty card, so I'm going to assume that reversed is probably going to be positive. Bats, again, are swords. They're air and intellect. Usually have to do not as much with creative projects, but mental stuff. This one is a lot about greed and selfishness. When it's right side up, it's obviously, as you can see, this guy here is not sharing his Halloween candy. And this poor clown and these, critters. Look, this is crying cat. This is terrible. Yeah, bad times. So let's see what it is reversed, because honestly, sometimes reversed is better. So we have the 5 of Swords reversed is, it's lingering issues, a desire to reconcile, and a desire to forgive. You've been burdened with a war in which all parties have fought ruthlessly and where competition was fierce in hand. It has made you exhausted, resentful, and waiting for it to end. So when it comes to a house, that's an interesting thing to think about. I would say if you're in a situation where you feel this sort of like exhaustion and you're dealing with more personal issues than anything else, it might not be the right time. But if it's a situation where the struggle has come from not having a house, if you're in a really bad renting situation or a really bad neighborhood, it might mean get your ducks in a row and find a better situation. So also, don't steal people's candy. It's just rude. Yeah, the 5 conflict change expansions. Sometimes I have a really hard time talking. You would think it would be easier as a writer. Melody wants to know, will I be at Buffering Prom this year? Hell yeah. Hell yeah, I'm going to be there. I don't think they've announced it yet, but I'm going to be there. Don't you worry. All right, I'm going to reload here. I have a couple more. I might have to cut this off a little bit after 4, just because I've got some stuff to do, but I'll go for a little bit. Emily has baby or wait. I feel like that's a lot of responsibility to put on me, but I will do my best to give you some context or maybe something to think about. And you are welcome, Matt. Don't steal anyone's candy. There is another card. I think it's like the 6 or the 7 of ghosts or pumpkins, maybe. That's a witch giving out candy. That's like the mirror to that card. It's generosity and giving rather than stinginess and keeping. And I just think that's really cute. So 29. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. Okay, baby or not. The Chariot reversed. Interesting. The Chariot is a card that my friend Beth identifies very strongly with. I pulled it for her when we were at the midnight screening of Practical Magic in a graveyard, because Los Angeles. But I know what it means right side up. I don't know what it means reversed. So let's pull it right here. The Chariot. So right side up, it does mean a specific sense of direction, a forward motion. Obviously, it's a car. It's really cute. Here we have this little pumpkin man. Just focus camera. And driving forwards. It's a little hearse, but it's very cute. So reversed, it does mean being at the mercy of 2 opposing forces constantly battling for domination. There's a sense that you've lost control here, that you're not in the driver's seat, and that you're a passive observer. That totally makes sense. Chariot right side up is you're driving the car. Chariot reversed means you're a passenger. So I think in that situation, if you're talking about something as major as like a kid, do you feel in control? Is it your decision? Is it someone else's decision? Or it could just mean, if you do have a kid, you're going to be, it's like really hammering a metaphor, taking a back seat because the kid's going to be in control of your life. I don't have kids myself, but anyone I know that does has said that I feel like it's pretty obvious. So basically it says you must begin to understand what is in your life that you can and cannot drive and what you can and cannot let go of. What can you control? What can you not control? So again, major arcana, major decision, obviously. I'm not going to tell you whether or not to have kids. It's like at the McElroy shows when they ask people to name their babies. Too much responsibility. But definitely, yeah, to consider, are you ready? Are you ready to take a back seat? To be a passenger in your life? Who knows? All right, we have 2 more. And then if anyone has any final questions, drop them in the YouTube chat. And then we'll be done for the day. I love doing this. It's really fun. So Adina would like to know, am I focusing on the right things for happiness? And her number is 14. Also, yeah, Claire, if you got to see them at PodCon, I'm sure the buffering people were wonderful. I saw Kristen this morning. We recorded this morning, and it was great. I love them with my whole heart. They're very good people. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. My God, all of these major arcana. All of these major arcana. So this is the Lovers reversed, which I've never pulled reversed. I'm getting a lot of reversed cards now. We started right side up. The Lovers I really like. I also love this interpretation of it. It reminds me of Mina, or not me, Lucy from Dracula. And we've got the vampire coming in through the window. Same vampire from Judgment, if you'll notice. There are a lot of times where I think it's the Lovers and Judgment where they're mirrored, or they have the same characters in them or something. I can't remember exactly. Someone might know that better than me. But yeah, so the question here was, am I focusing on the right things for happiness? And the result is, yeah, an imbalance in a partnership, which is pretty straightforward. Straight way up is the lovers in trouble. So it might be that there is, yeah, one person in a relationship, and it doesn't necessarily have to be romantic, but it is the lovers. Maybe one person's taking more than they're giving, or being selfish, or, you know, any version of that, putting their needs before yours, not listening to you. There's some sort of blockage in the positivity of what should be in a relationship. So it basically says, are the feelings in your relationship mutual, or conversely, there might be disagreements between either 2 parts within yourself or amongst your relationships. So something is in conflict. So I would say, if the question is, am I focusing on the right things for happiness? I'd say maybe not. Maybe a lot of your time is taken up with interpersonal or internal conflict, and you're getting really wound up in that. And I would say, take a step back, either open up some new channels of communication, or, you know, just like chill. It does seem like things are a little jammed up. So yeah, I would say maybe not, but that doesn't mean you can't. Every tarot card is not like, oh, here's the ultimate be all end all of your situation. It's like, here's what could happen if you don't reconsider your situation, if you don't try something different, whatever. Anyway, we're on our last one, which is great because we're almost at 4 o'clock and everyone needs to live their lives. What did we get? What did Trisha say here? I can't even move my mouse. It's fine. Kids do taint. Yeah. Well, that's amazing. All right, Josh is our last one here, and thank you for saying the stream is going great. I really want to do some games ones. I think it'd be really fun. I want to do some from my Switch, but the fact that you need like a $200 capture card is nuts. Like, what? What? Why? PS4 and PC just like directly do it. I don't understand. Anyway, I'm working on it. So the last card we're going to pull for Josh is Clarity on Difficulty with Relationships. And then, yeah, if anyone has any other questions before I take off, or thoughts of that nature, right after we're done the stream, I'm going to change the tier for Patreon so that anyone from the $1 and up level can join the Discord. And that'll be great. So something fun that has come out of this. Okay, so clarity on difficulty with relationships. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The star reversed. It's weird. Everyone, major arcana. Everyone reversed. You would think maybe my deck's just upside down, but I flip it around constantly. So who knows? There's something in the air. So the star. Oh, hello, Lila. My kitty is here and sneezing at my foot. So it says clarity on difficulty with relationships. So the star, as you can see right side up, is generally a pretty straightforward, positive, things are moving in the right direction card. Now, again, when something's reversed, it means something is in the way of that. Something is obstructing that sort of peacefulness. See, gargoyle, its moon's out. It's very nice, tranquil, solid. So here it's saying negativity is surrounding your thoughts. You expect the worst out of any situation, but perception creates reality and you're caught in an endless cycle. If you can see the positives, you can understand and move forward. So if you're talking about difficulty with relationships, I mean, that can, my cat's right here. She's like, you are so full of shit. Here. Oh, baby, come say hi. Hi. This is my sweetheart. She's not wearing the cone anymore. That's very exciting. She hates it. Hi. Okay. All right. Okay. I do enough witchy stuff and my familiars show up. So let me go back to that. Sorry, I got distracted. So the difficulty in relationships might be on your side. You might be paranoid or expecting the worst or thinking that someone is angry maybe about something that they're not. It might not necessarily be that things are super bad, but you might be up in your head too much. So again, I mean, communication's the answer to basically everything. But yeah, it basically says if you can look at the upside, if you can really examine the situation and see what's good, things will get better. Things will move on. I'm glad everyone liked my kitty. I know it's hard to like move on to something serious after that, but I did want to wrap up what I was saying. Oh, she's spinning around. Come back up here. All right. You're a star. You're a star, kid. Ooh. Yes, this is my baby. This is Lulu. She's been around for 10 years. She moved from Nova Scotia, and this is her tiny little tail because it got amputated because she bit it off. Just she crazy. But I love her with my whole life. She's the one who destroyed the back of this chair. She's about to do it again. There we go. Yeah. That's it. That's the good shit. Perfect. Absolutely perfect timing. So, yeah. Whoosh. Matt, you asked if I know any card games that use a tarot deck. I don't. I do know people that read a straight up 52 card deck as a tarot deck, but it's not something I've ever done or know how to do. I think it's really interesting. But yeah, I just use the tarot for tarot's purposes. And again, something that like I've been doing it for 3 or 4 years on and off. I read for myself about once every week, once every 2 weeks. Sometimes I get in a spell and do it a lot. I've got cat hair all over me now. But yeah, it takes a long time and I have a bad memory. So that's why I have the app as a reference guide. All right. Cats. So thank you everybody for coming by. We will do this again and either do some more tarot or do some drawing. I'd like to make this a more regular thing depending on what my schedule looks like. But yeah, thank you. You're all the best. And if you have any more tarot questions, things like that, throw them either on the Patreon post or send a message or whatever. Again, not my profession, but a hobby I'm pretty into. So you're all the best. Thank you for supporting me and being part of my Patreon. And if you are below the $5 level, I will be making a post about joining the Discord because I would like to get some more stuff going on there. Pretty much after I put this down, I say, oh, so much. There's nothing that makes you more self-aware of your actions than being recorded in any context. And I already did a podcast today, so like I need to lie down. Good night. Have a great weekend, everybody. Yeah.